Congressman Sam Liccardo of California. Congressman, you represent San Jose area. It's a port region, it's a trade region, it's a very global kind of place to be in the world. So give us your take on what's going on with the tariffs.
Well, from the viewpoint of Silicon Valley, and I think clearly from the markets and virtually every independent economist, this is the biggest domestic policy blunder we've seen in my lifetime. We're going to see massive losses of jobs. We're going to see every American family paying on average $3,800 a year more for their goods at a time when we know that American families are choking on the high cost of living. And the long-term impacts are going to be even worse. We're protecting American industries that need to compete on a global stage. We understand the importance of that in Silicon Valley, and this is undermining American competitiveness.
Are you in the camp of the Sean Fain, the head of the United Auto Workers, and others who are part of the traditional Democratic coalition on the labor side say tariffs, we got to have them, we got to do it. Where are you on that? There seems to be some division, a perforation inside your party on this question.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of tariffs. I supported very publicly the efforts, for example, of President Obama to strike a trade partnership, Trans-Pacific partnership. We need to make our economy more competitive. That means investing in people and certainly an openness to new ideas, new people, and markets. That's the way we're going to win the 21st century, not by protectionism.
Okay, you're a former prosecutor. You worked in the Department of Justice. You have been observing what the DOJ is doing as it relates to immigration. And telling, there's a story that basically they're getting rid of prosecutors that don't want to take the hard line on immigration that Pam Bondi and the administration wants to take. How are you observing this? What do you say?
Well, two things. First, I think it'd be a great idea if we gave deportees due process before we decide to ship them to a Salvadoran prison. It's not just my idea, it's actually in the Constitution, and it's a pretty good idea. Secondly, as a prosecutor, unlike other lawyers, you have this opportunity not simply to serve a client and be loyal to that client, but actually to do justice. That's why so many prosecutors love what they do. What we're seeing from Bondi in this administration, not unlike what we're seeing in a lot of aspects of this administration, is undermining that fundamental professional ethic. Federal prosecutors are there to do justice. They're there to tell the court the truth at all times. That means you turn over exculpatory evidence. It means you dismiss cases if you don't have the evidence to prosecute. And what we're seeing is completely undermining that, I think, for another generation. That's going to be very detrimental to our criminal justice.
So what do you tell the younger you? What do you tell the prosecutor who is uncomfortable with the situation as it is and not sure how to proceed? Should they quit? Should they stay and fight? Should they get fired? What do you tell them?
Do everything that your professional ethic requires you to do, that your conscience requires you to do, and in the meantime, look for another job.
Okay. All right. I don't know whether you know this. Democrats, you came to Washington at a moment where Democrats don't have a ton of power.
I noticed that.
But to get this deal through between the House and Senate Republicans, they're probably going to have to shuck the debt ceiling lift out of the package, right? Because they just can't, they're probably not going to be able to afford losing more people on the debt ceiling question.
Right.
So it's coming to you. There's a good chance that a debt ceiling lift is coming to you. Are you ready to raise the debt limit, to vote to raise the debt limit if Republicans can't get it done on their own? Or is that a negotiating point that you would insist on?
No, I think clearly our leadership and the party, at least on the House side, is certainly unified. We're not going to give an inch unless we get a whole lot in return. And we're going to make sure that we protect Medicaid. We're going to make sure that we actually have a budget that makes sense.
You would default. You would be willing to vote. You would let the debt ceiling expire, or what?
The Republicans have the ability to allow us to either continue or to default. This is their government. They control the House. They control the Senate. They control the White House. This is their opportunity to step up to leadership. If they cannot lead, I don't have the power to save them from that.
Huge protests around the country yesterday. People in big cities particularly out protesting against Donald Trump. There's a debate going on inside the Democratic Party right now. And over here, you got abundance Democrats. We heard Cory Booker mention it in his marathon speech. And you have people saying, we've got to modernize a very sort of Silicon Valley approach to doing things. We have to innovate our way out of these problems. And then on the other side, you have people out protesting, holding rallies, big rallies, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, and others out doing it. Which camp do you gravitate toward? Are you an abundance kind of Democrat or a resist kind of Democrat?
Well, look, I'm never going to hold anyone back from speaking out. There's plenty to speak out against when you think about Signalgate, Loomergate, Deportgate, the Trump tariffs, the Trump slump. There's plenty to yell about. But fundamentally, I'm in the former camp. I think in addition to being a party that needs to come up with real solutions to address the high cost of living that's choking American families, we need to be the party of innovation. We need to have an openness to ideas, an openness to people and to markets that is going to drive us forward in this next century. And I think we have a very strong story to tell when we see how Republicans are completely botching our efforts to be competitive as an economy. You can't simply crack down on every university and tell them what to teach. You can't decide to cut off research and development because it doesn't fit your political views. And you can't keep the best and the brightest in the world from coming here if you want to compete on a global stage.
Okay, now I need your expert testimony. The tech bro universe has come to Washington, right? Mark Zuckerberg just bought a $23 million house in Washington, D.C., the little embassy. You've worked with, when you were the mayor of San Jose, you dealt with these folks, you did all of this stuff. Elon Musk is on his journey, and all this is going on. What's the, decode all of this for us with Jeff Bezos and all these folks. What do you see?
Well, whatever he spent on that house, I think it's wasted money.
Really?
Because I don't think any, I'm sure it is. I wish I could afford it. There's no amount of prostrating that tech leaders can do upon the almighty altar of Trump to persuade this president to offer the kind of leadership that's required to demonstrate some stability. I mean, we are seeing
but if
valuations.
They don't do it, they'll get hosed, right? Like, I understand your point. They're not going to get him to do what they want, but I mean, they can't just let Elon Musk be his BFF, right?
Well, you know, we can look at their market cap over the last 3 months, and that tells the story. If they care about their shareholders and they care about their employees and they care about their customers, there's a very simple approach. You've got to support sane governance. Right now, I've seen better organized riots, and I'm hearing that from every CEO in the Valley.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.